Hello and welcome. In 2016, I started a business called FAF Automotive. My goal was to dominate the automotive industry around the world. And we achieved this. I was able to scale my business to $500,000+ per month. I also gave away 3 cars to customers around Australia. FAF Automotive made $15 million in the 6 years of operation. From the countless lessons learned in scaling my business, I would like to bring you behind the curtain and share a real story of where it began. What it was like being in my early 20s running a multi-million-dollar business with zero experience. Grab a drink, kick back, and this is the story of FAF Automotive. Did I wipe my lens? Definitely the most important thing. If you ever use your phone camera for anything, make sure you wipe your lens. I'm doing this all genuinely from my heart, by the way. I didn't want to write a script. I just wanted to share with you exactly how I feel as I'm feeling things, because I'm feeling things here with everyone as I'm saying this. To the story. This has been the last, I'll say close to 8 years of my life. From when I was around 17 years old, 18 years old, I always had this fascination of car parts and having a car parts business. It actually came from, I did a student for a semester at Bond University. My assignment that I made was good. And it was a little business named Auto Freaks. And I guess the goal of that business was to import parts directly from Japan and sell them here in Australia. Started researching, trying to work out what I could sell, what I couldn't sell, how I could create a business, how I could start a business, what I could do to make money. And I always wanted to be above board. You know, I always wanted to do the best thing for all the people and all the parties involved. And a friend of mine, Nick, he actually told me about a thing that we could do where we could sell cases, phone cases. And these phone cases were Autobox branded. Sorry, Autobox. And it was growing well. And I learned a few very, very valuable lessons while doing this business. I was selling plenty of these things. I'm talking 10 to 15 per day. I was importing them in from China, and then I was packaging them up, sending them with Australia Post, selling them on eBay. What ended up happening was I was only ordering 50 in at a time. I guess you could say that it slipped under the radar. And yeah, I then got a little bit, maybe not greedy, but I just wanted to expand. I mean, I guess that is a means of greed, or maybe, but I wanted to expand. So what I ended up doing was I put an order in for 150 cases. These cases got stopped by Australian Border Force and confiscated. Wasn't able to do that ever again. But I mean, what I learned from that was, if you have something going good, don't actually try and mend it. And unless you are 100% certain that you have a means of execution that is next to none. Because I think that's the biggest key in all of this, is you need to know where you need to go and what needs to be done. After the Autoboxes, I then came across, I mean, I would call them dress-up, Chinese dress-up parts. Because they literally just products made in China, but they're actually pretty cool, to be fair. Cool colors, cool gear knobs, cool lollipop steering wheels. I mean, all the fun stuff. And where I began was I started going on Facebook groups. This was before Facebook Marketplace even existed. I started ordering in things off the catalog that I believed were cool, and I believed they were good products. And the reason I say this is because I, from 15 years old, actually started drifting cars. That's actually what got me in the university to, if we're going to tell my whole life story, watch Fast and the Furious in 2001 when I was 5 years old, and it changed my life. But Fast forward, started drifting at 15. I bought my first car for $1,500, money that I had saved up literally my whole life. It actually was my whole life. Christmas, birthday, I have to put it in the bank. That was like what my parents said. Grateful for that because it changed the whole course of my life. Bought my first car for $1,500, which is a Nissan 180SX. Bought that, started drifting, absolutely loved it. And I actually learned how to drift on a racetrack. My dad, because I didn't have a license, my dad would drive me to Archerfield at the time, that was run by Nispro, and I would then get in the car, drift it around the racetrack, and then he would drive home. And it was great. I'm so happy that I learned it. And I mean, if anyone ever wants to learn how to drift, there are cool, very cool schools. When I get a drift car again, I am willing to teach people because I think it would just be fun. I would like to video it. So if anyone is down for that, I actually believe I can make someone that has never, hear me out, never drifted in their lives, one day, I actually reckon I can get them to drift. Going back to it. I started importing these parts that I thought were cool and that I would like to put on my own car. And as I was importing them, I was taking cool photos. I made like a little makeshift light box out of like some wood, some coconut water bottles and some canvas, some lights. Started taking photos. And I mean, these photos, they were pretty good. I mean, they were taken on a phone, but I thought for what it was, and at this time, it hadn't happened yet. I actually was the first person on these groups selling these products. Yeah, I had about 6,000 clients that I'd talked to over about a year and a half. They came over. I had a little FPOS machine in my garage. I had all the parts lined up. It was like a store, but the store was in my parents' garage. But it worked well. After about a year and a half, the products started dying off. And I mean, this was where I kind of panicked a little bit because I'm thinking, what am I going to do now if I've got no parts? Like if I've got no customers, everyone's already seen me posting every single day. Literally, I was like, well, every third day, I had a bit of a structure. Every third day, leave it up for 3 days and then delete it and then post it up again on the third day. And the reason I would do it like that is because it would then get bumped back to the top. It started going a little bit stale, unfortunately. So at that point, I ended up getting doing Franklin's course. It was for free. Well, it was like a free version of it I think it was just on YouTube. I then came across another guy named Nick Peroni. Came across Nick Peroni's course. Before I started doing the car products, I actually trialed two other websites. I called one Adventure Center, then I called the second one Fight of the Century. And this was when Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather had their big boxing match. So what I did was did the Nick Peroni course. This was on a Friday. The match actually was on the Sunday. On the Friday, I created a Shopify website. It took me about 5 hours. I then loaded, I think it was 22 products. I loaded 22 products from AliExpress onto this website. I then started doing ads, Facebook ads. This is what I know how to do. I've done a lot of it. Started doing Facebook ads, and over the course of the weekend, I made $3,400 from Friday to Sunday. And what was nuts, I made, I think it was like $1,100 profit. And I mean, that blew my mind. I was like, this dropshipping thing could actually work. So it was then the next week continued. It was then the next week, then the FAF Automotive store began. And I have emailed Nick Peroni like 3 or 4 times because he actually changed my life. Thank you, Nick Peroni. Thank you. There's the reason that I got to where I am is because of Nick Peroni. So thanks for that. I avidly sat there every single day. I'm talking like 13 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours per day. Always 2 screens. I'd have one screen and that would be Shopify, and then my second screen, that would be the course that I did from Nick Peroni. Slowly started building a website, and what I ended up doing from there was all the products that I was selling locally. I mean, I did post a lot. I did go to the post office a lot. I did have an Australia Post account. So I did send a lot of things from the house. End up doing this course by Nick Peroni to create a store selling exactly the same products, but doing it in a way called drop shipping. I'll put a quick explanation here of what drop shipping is, but shipping does not necessarily mean you're buying things from China. It just doesn't. It could be from anywhere. I created this website to start drop shipping products, the same products, but instead of me bringing them to the house, I started sending them from China. And I mean, it was okay. It was like, you know, the only downside was 3-4 weeks wait. I mean, I didn't put much margin. It was like $10 to $15 I would make on a product. I had run out of money again at that time. So this is, I'm talking, about a year and a bit. I was posting on the pages. They stopped buying things. I was like, what am I going to do? Started drop shipping. At the time, Shopify gave 3-month free trials. So they don't do that anymore. I think it's $1 a month now, but still $3, not bad. I remember it was June 2017. I then started testing products. I tested close to 350 products to actually start making a consistent wow kind of thing. I literally tested 350 products. I mean, and there were some products that did well. They were like little gear knobs that had flowers in them. They did well. But I mean, it wasn't crazy sales, like $3,000 in revenue and maybe like $2,400 in cost. So I was only making $600. It was about 6 months and I'm like trickling in and out, trying to get sales, trying to do ads, kept running out of money to do ads. I then would go back to my old groups, like the people that went in the groups. I would be posting my website in the groups. I would message everyone. I would say, hey, come to my website. Here's 10% off. Here's 15% off. Here's a discount code, whatever, have a spinny wheel, all these things. I had them coming. And that was how I would have people come to the website for me to then have enough money to then do ads. So it was really a circle until I was able to hit it, because it definitely is hard. I can't stress that point enough. It is not easy, and you have to be resilient and you can't give up, and you have to just make sure that whatever hiccup comes towards you, you just have to keep moving, because if you give up, that's the only way that you don't succeed, literally. I've then gone and I came across the one product. So I'll tell you the product that actually was the first winning product for me and that I actually sold so many of, and I could not believe that this was the product. Could not believe it. I came across a product in like September and I looked at it and I was like, who would buy that? I don't know. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to buy until you see it. You know, you look at it, I was like, I'm not going to buy that. And I thought, who else would buy it? Rookie error. I've then been trialing products all the way up until December. And I still for the life of me, could not get one winning product. I then, scrolling down, came across this one thing again, the same product. And what it was a camera strap, and it said Takata on it, and that was it. And that camera strap, goodness gracious me, that camera strap that could change everything. At the same time, I'm posting videos on Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying to grow a little bit of a following, trying to do that whole, growing a brand from scratch. Come across this camera strap, it goes off. I sold in 1 month. Could not believe it. I'm talking to every country in the world, not just Australia. They were going to Malaysia, they were going to Israel, they were going to, where else do I remember? Germany, Belgium. There was one that went to like some, where did it go? Morocco, places like that. Anyway, people were buying this camera strap. Could not believe it. I actually couldn't believe it. So I sold 300 of these camera straps in 1 month. And that was actually the most eye-opening part of it all, because at that point I was like, holy shit, this could actually work well. I can really get this drop shipping going. I don't know, it was interesting. After that, I actually somewhat figured out just how to hit winning products. And I had, at that time, it was like between January and June, I had, winning product after winning product, and they were just selling. People were liking them. I think because I liked them, that was like my one criteria. Do I like it? Would I put it on my car? Yes? No. No? That's why, and that's camera strap. I just never thought I would use it. So yeah, go figure. In January, I left and I actually went to Asia. And then I was in Asia for 5 months with my good friend, Michael. Hi, Michael, if you're watching this. It was amazing. If you want me to like make a video of what we did in Asia, because I have so much footage, just never edited it. So, I mean, just comment if you want that. I'll share it. If not, it'll continue just probably living on my phone forever. By the time I got back, I had grown my Facebook, like my Facebook page, to 301,000 likes. I couldn't believe that, by the way. I had like 3 videos that went viral. Did not think they would go viral. They went viral. 15 million views, 20 million views, 30 million views. There was 1 week I had like 15 million reach in 7 days. Couldn't believe that. Made this page go viral. I've come back. I was selling a hoodie that said drift, and it was like a kind of a smoke. It was like smoke and a car drifting, but it was like looked like a Nike tick, and I thought that was so cool. But it said drift, just do it. Didn't realize that Nike had just do it copyrighted. It's pretty crazy, actually. So Facebook bans me. I've lost my 300,000 like page. I am gutted. Like gutted. Man, that was like my whole life's work. 300,000. I felt like at that point I was like, what's it? This is the end of my life. I didn't leave my bed, I don't think, for like 4 days or 5 days. I just laid there in bed. I was just like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I was back from Asia, came back because my sister gave birth to her first child. Amazing. The legal team of Nike had reached out to Facebook because of the wording. I didn't know. I was so sincere. Like I had to mend my wrong. So I ended up, Facebook had banned me. There was nothing I could do. I ended up emailing Nike and I was like, hello, I'm like so sorry. I didn't realize it was copyright, because I didn't realize it was copyright. Can you please do something? I've lost my livelihood. Essentially it was, because at that point it had given me the means to make money. Is it possible to be able to help me out here? And they ended up writing me a letter. So shout out to Nike. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. They wrote me a letter and never sold it again. I definitely took that off the website. And I guess that at that point was really the inflection point of where did I want to continue going with this. I lost my page. I'm thinking, what am I going to do right now? Where do I continue on? At this time, there was a website that I really loved, and it was Nengun. That was the name of the website. So I went on Nengun's website and I looked at their brands list, and I thought, how about I create auto freaks, but in a drop shipping way? That was kind of what I was envisioning. Don't bring over container, don't have a store, have a drop shipping auto freaks called FAF Automotive, and from there, make a store. That's what I thought. Thought it was possible. And I mean, you guys have to keep in mind, I'm like 22 at this time, 23. Like, I wasn't the biggest academic. I've reached out on their brands list, I remember, because I copied and pasted into a Word document. And then I individually, I went onto each website and I found their contact information, their email, their phone number, where they were, what they did, everything. I found everything. I mean, this is what it takes. I went and looked for everything. From there, I started emailing them all. I created a little email blurb about the business. I mean, I had a website so they could see it. And yeah, kind of continued on from there. So this is so rookie of me. I kind of hate to say this out loud because when I was building the store and I started getting these brands on, did a big boo-boo. And I'll get to that. So I emailed about 1,000 brands, and out of that 1,000 brands, 13 emails replied. They said yes. They said, yep, you can put the products on the website. You're on like a 15% discount or a 20% discount I think the highest one I was on like 30%. And I mean, this is kind of when everything changed. We started adding these products. Was my big boo-boo. I actually added 10,000 products individually because I didn't realize that there was a thing called a CSV file. It actually took me close to a year. It did. It was like I spent every day 2 screens. One would have like the website and then the other one would have my website. And I'd be like, copy, paste the description, paste the title, save the images, paste the images. And I did have the rights to sell these products. So I was actually legally allowed to take them, but I just didn't understand the easiest way to bring them over. Let me just put it that way. Added these products, started going well. It was then this from this small drop shipping website, like selling Chinese things. Like I'm talking like 10,000s when I sold those camera straps. Went up to like 15, 20. I think I did a 30 around that mark. And this whole time I'd done Facebook ads. I think at that time I'd spent close to about $85,000 in Facebook ads over the course of like 2 years to getting it to that point specifically. So as I'm adding these products, I've come to realize that Facebook ads aren't the type of ads that are needed for this product. It's just because I had at that point probably about 12,000 products on my website. A Facebook ad would show 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 products. But how do I know that those 5 products are exactly what you need? Because with cars and car parts, it could be a 16-year-old that drives the same car as a 70-year-old. So the way they look at marketing, the way they do things, completely different. So selling those types of products on Facebook just didn't work. I actually ended up only using Facebook at the end of it just for brand awareness. I would have the main funnel was Google, and I'd have Google just had every product uploaded onto Smart Shopping, and people would then come, or before Smart Shopping even existed actually. Smart Shopping was like when it really got good, but we essentially had an app that bundled all these products together and then put them out. So then if anyone searched a particular name, like a R33 Skyline exhaust, it came up on Google. I mean, and that was the game changer. You know, from that point is actually really when the growth went like a bit exponential, actually. I loved it. I mean, I talked to thousands of you guys, and I loved every moment. Oh my God. I have a sales background, so I just love talking to you, talking about cars. I love cars. To the day I die, I'm going to race cars, I'm going to drive cars, I'm going to drift cars, I'm going to brake cars. I'm going to try and also fix cars. Don't know if that's possible, but it is possible because comes June 2020 and we had been building the ads up over a period of time. And I mean, at this time, it was all the way up until January 2020. I was still in my bedroom. Like I literally just had a bedroom. Sometimes I'd work from a cafe. Sometimes I'd work from the table. I forgot to mention about Japan. I lived in Japan for 5 months. Loved Japan. I actually still love Japan. Drifted in Japan. Had a S14. Have some footage of that somewhere. Anyway, so from that point, I ended up coming back to Australia only for 20 days, I remember. And then I went to America for 6 weeks. Loved America. Oh my God. There was something about it. You Americans. It's just so crazy. I don't know what it is. You're just, you're so kind. You're so kind, but so welcoming. Just so I don't know, so different. Anyway, went to America, came back. I had decided I'm moving to America. I had booked a ticket on the 27th of April 2020 that I was going to move to America after my trip in 2019. Anyway, still working from home. Ended up going into a co-working space with a friend of mine, Nick. He ended up doing my Google Ads by the end of it because he was Google Ad expert, and he still is. So if you need really good Google Ads, he's the man to talk to. Where it went from that point, I just could not even believe it. It was I was saying $100,000 months before with those parts. When I had Nick on board, oh my goodness gracious, we were doing like 110, 140, 180, 220. And then, yeah, it was June 2020 and didn't end up going to America because of COVID. I mean, and that's probably why the business blew up. But I did a $300,000 month in June 2020. And I couldn't believe it. Thank you, everyone, by the way. Thank you, everyone. I think we processed 7,000 orders that month. And I mean, this was me. I had Josh working with me, and then I had 3 VAs, actually. My 3 VAs were from the Philippines, Jonard, Jasmine, Jermaine, which is Jonard's sister. Love them all. Thank you very much, guys, for everything you've done. We process all the orders. There's like I said, there's about 7,000 orders that month. Man, was that a hustle. But this is, I'm going to say this is 2 parts here, because I think this is the crossroad where I made a mistake. Genuinely, I think I made a mistake here. And that mistake was just thinking the business is blowing up, but not really looking at the very bottom line, because it's so important. It's so important. I mean, I never was taught it, which it's no one's fault, you know. Maybe I wasn't ready to accept it, or I wasn't ready to begin learning it. You know, that could also be another part of it all. At $300,000 a month, I was like, okay, this is time. It's time to move out of a co-working space. I'm going to get my own workshop. Let's start building cars. I was doing this little BMW project with Nathan. Then we bought the Lexus. And, man, the Lexus... The Lexus was hard, you know. It was pretty. I wish I knew what I know now back then. That's all I can say really about the Lexus. I'm so grateful that I did it though. So grateful. I thought it's going to be a good idea. 2020, I'm going to give away a Lexus I think it was in December. This was July. Like, I'm going to give away a Lexus. Let's buy one. Let's build one. At the very beginning, we didn't think it through. That's literally why at the beginning of this video I said having a plan, a game plan, is so important. Every single step map, you will reach success. If you're just like willy-nilly trying to do everything with no plan, it is almost impossible. It is, because I did that, and I made a big mistake. So, yeah. Let me put it that way. We're still, like, from this 300, I'd like to add in, from this 300,000 a month, we consistently went up. We started building a Lexus, and it just turned into a money pit, honestly. It was just thing after thing after thing that we started putting into it. Like, we changed every bush, we changed every arm, we changed every single thing that was possibly imaginable. We had this idea, let's give it away, because I'd already given away an Audi RS3. I have videos of it. I'll drop them in here. Gave away an RS3. Thought it was this, and by the way, gave away the RS3 in about 2019. It was, yeah. And I thought, all right, we're making money now. We can do it. Let's give away another car. What I didn't realize was how much the car was going to cost. And I mean, it's crazy that the lessons that it taught me were phenomenal. It ended up costing over 150 grand. Unfortunately, this is where I made the mistake. And this is what I'm sharing with you, and this is actually why I made the video. I went and got a loan to be able to cover this. And I mean, because we were making so much money at the time, there were businesses throwing money at us. And I'm talking, we're doing months like 300, 400, 500, 500, 500, 500, 600, 500. I'm thinking we're on a roll. Like, doesn't even matter. Like, we'll pay it off pretty much. That bottom line and like the whole understanding of it all, I didn't know very well. And I mean, I was kind of going in blind because it's a lot to handle. I mean, there's 6,000 people, 7,000 people pretty much every single month buying from us. I'm on the phone, Josh is on the phone. We're literally all day, every day talking to people, emailing people, emailing suppliers, calling the shipping company, looking for tracking numbers, doing every single thing that you could possibly think of. And it gets away from you. I'm thinking we need some money. I ended up getting a loan for $300,000. This was where the mistake was made, because this loan had such high interest, and I'm talking 22%. So like the loan repayments. Oh my God, what were the loan repayments? Like $15,000 or $20,000 a month. Did the car, we gave away the car, amazing. We were so stoked. I'm so happy for the winner. But like cash flow was still tight, giving away that car. Don't know why we did this. This is like, we thought we just had to have the momentum and just continue on and give away another car. And I mean, that's the 1965 Mustang. I'll drop a clip here. It was sick. Anyway, I was just carried away. Like I've moved into a workshop. I, at that time, had 4 staff. You know, we're making videos. We're making content. We're building the Lexus. We're making videos with the Lexus as well. I'm paying a videographer to video it all. Like, it's just, I just didn't have my finger on the finances because I just didn't know. Like, purely and simple. And I should have learned. And I should have been more open, but there's so many things going on, like within the business, and especially now that I had staff and I was trying to grow, there was so many things going on that I just never was able to, never had the brain capacity to sit there because I was still in the business. This is something that I've learned. I was working in the business still. I was still answering phones at this point. And I'm talking, we're doing $500,000 months. This is a lot of money. We're giving out, like, we learned later on, this is what I'll share, we're only on a 10% margin, right? So we're sending out $450,000 a month, and we only had $50,000 of profit. And to make matters worse, you know, we're spending around $20,000. At different times we've spent more, but we were spending average between $20,000 and $30,000 a month just on Google ads. So that, to put all of that into consideration, it was just so much to handle, and I never had my finger on the pulse. And I think that's, the onus is on me. And I mean, it's definitely been a bitter pill to swallow. And I'm actually grateful, though, that it happened like that because, well, not fully grateful because I'm a bit devastated as well. I am devastated, but I'm devastated and grateful, if that makes sense to anyone. I'm going to make a video on that if you want me to, because you should definitely find that middle ground, because it's hard. It's hard to just be cool with it all. So we're doing these crazy months. I don't know what my bottom line is. We did a lot of ticket sales for the Lexus, and probably close to 100 grand, but the car cost us over 140, roughly. I mean, we didn't even have a spreadsheet for how much we spent on there. I don't know, that sounds hollow to you. We didn't have a spreadsheet, so we're just spending money, just going out. Ridiculous, actually. We then decided, let's give away a Mustang. So that's what we did. We thought we're going to nail it this time. We're going to definitely get enough ticket sales to make up for the cost of the Mustang, and we're going to be sweet. Literally, that did not happen. We lost money. We probably lost money both times if we actually look at it overall, but with the debt with the first debt, and then what we had to do is, the second debt, we ended up, with the second car, we ended up having to get a second loan. 150 grand, 18% or 16%. By the end of it, the loan repayments were about $25,000. Yeah. $25,000 every single month we had to pay for a loan. Ridiculous. We're then pretty much, after losing money on 2 cars, that was kind of where the downward spiral began. We lost focus of the main business that I started with. And I mean, again, this is all hindsight that I'm able to share this with you guys. We lost track of who we were originally, and we tried to do something else. But who we was a business selling car parts and making money and doing a great job. By this point, we didn't have that anymore. You know, the business was so hectic. I had 9 staff. This is including my ones in the Philippines. I had a workshop. There was things just happening all the time. So much to go through, right? This is kind of when I then found someone, a very good friend of mine named Michael, that helped me out with finances. And then he started showing me spreadsheets, this, that, what we need to do, how you need to work it out, what's your margin on each product, how much money are we doing on each thing. This is after we were already in debt. I mean, we're still turning over about at that time 600 to 700 per month. So we're ahead, we're fine. The problem is my expenses at this point of the business were close to 50 grand. I mean, some months they were 50, some months it was 45, some months it was 40, but it was always around that 40 to 50 marker. If we are not making over $500,000 a month, if we're not making over in revenue $500,000 a month, we are not even breaking even. Keep that in mind. So Michael's come in, he started showing me how to do spreadsheets, how to do this, and I mean, I'm so grateful that I learned this. But the problem was, it was just too late. It was too late in its life. And I had to learn the lesson the hard way, truly, because if I didn't learn it that way, what was I able to do at that point? What was I actually able to do? Nothing. So I learned it the hard way. And I mean, the business started going downhill. We started doing under $500,000 months. I mean, we're still doing $400,000 a month, which is $100,000 a week. Crazy. But because we're doing $400,000 and our debt is so high, we're losing money every month. These repayments every single month, bang, repayment, bang, repayment, bang, repayment. Every week they came out, regardless. I'm devastated that it happens, and I'm sorry. And I would like to. This is a very sincere apology that I'm doing right now. I'm so sorry to anyone that was affected by this. And if you were, please reach out to me. Send me an email. I'm going to make an email. I'm going to call it FAF at observeacademy.com. Send me an email. I want to talk to you. I want to apologize to you, and I want to see if I can help you in any way with what's happened. I truly would like to do that. And at that point, it was time to pull the pin. I ended up having to liquidate my business. My business went bankrupt. That's what happened. My business went bankrupt. It's like the first time I've ever saying this like this out loud, but it's a bit bittersweet. I mean, it's a bit sad. If I did not go down that avenue, I mean, I wish I learned more. I wish I was more open to learning. I wish my brain was more open to learning at the time, and I wasn't so clouded and my judgment was so clouded. I wish I had a little bit more, but I actually can't change what happened. I actually can't. It happened. I made bad moves, bad decisions, a lot of bad decisions. And those bad decisions led me to this point. Anyway, this is what the video is about. How I built a business from $600 to $15 million and back to zero again. Oh shit, can laugh about it now, can't you? Stay tuned on this channel though, because I'm going to start dropping some things. I'm starting from scratch again, starting from $0. I'm going to get you to come along with the journey. I'm going to show you, the next episode is how me and my partner turned $1,000 into $3,700. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We did it in 4 days. There's a few things I would like to say as I close this up. The first thing is I would like to thank every single one of you that has ever bought anything from me or FAF Automotive. I'd also like to thank every one of my staff members that came on with me and that grew with me on the journey. Dario, Josh, BJ, Nathan, Tony, Blaze, especially Alice and Craig and Daniel. I'd like to thank you all for being there and going along with my crazy vision of what I had planned. I mean, sometimes things change, circumstances change, but this is how I'd like to close out the video, because from my heart to you guys, thank you very much. Please add some comments. If you've stayed all the way to the end, thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel. That would be great. I mean, this is the very beginning of this channel. I'm going to post more and more, but tell me what you want to hear. I think just helping everyone understand what it's like to try and do something and it not work. It's hard, but you can do it. And I think don't be afraid of failure. Don't have fear in regards to failure, because without failure, we can't progress forward. So thank you everyone for watching, and have a great day.